SurfacBook Inking and Desktop Setup. Hi, this is Darryl Webster, and if you're using a Microsoft Surface Book, I want to show you a tip about how to set it up so you can get the best of both worlds with multiple screens and being able to ink on the Surface Book as well. So I've got the Surface Book. It is connected to a Surface dock, and of course it's got a couple of monitors and an external webcam as well. And I've got the Surface dock down over here. I am using some adapters, display adapters that are fully supportive of the additional monitors. They're a little more expensive, but they do a good job. I've also got a headset hanging out the side here as well, so I can grab that. It's a Jabra and it's wireless. So that's my setup. What I'm going to do is just show you a little closer here. And I've got the multiple monitors, I've got some content, and I've got OneNote up on screen. And the thing that you want to do is, as you are trying to flip the screen around and use it in kind of an inking fashion, that you will detach the screen from the Surface Book, and you'll make use of the setting to lock the rotation so that it will be upside down, because if we flip it up as it is now, then it's of course not going to work. So let's just go through that step. So step one is to detach the screen from the base of the Surface Book. So I'm just detaching that. You will see you hear it all clicking away, and what I'm going to do now is, as I've turned it upside down, it's flipped the rotation because it's now in the clipboard or tablet mode. I'm going to use the action center now, and we'll click rotation lock. So this is going to keep the orientation facing the right way, because when we click it back into the Surface dock, it's going to need to be facing this way so that we can use it to ink. Okay, so step two is getting this back into the base of the Surface Book. It'll grab on, we'll flip it back down, and of course it's going to go through a few things as it detects the screen and reorients itself. Some of the windows are going to look a bit funny on the screens because it doesn't do a great job of resizing, but now we've got the monitor all set up so that it's spreading across all three, and we've got our Surface Book in an orientation that we can start inking. So the key is really to orient the screen so that it reflects how they are laid out in reality. So if we use our display settings, you can see I've got three screens, but you might see that as they're laid out, you've got a monitor above, the tablet directly below with the highest resolution. That's why it's the biggest screen, is number one, and this one over to the side. So what I'm going to do is just adjust that so that it really fits how they are laid out, so that as I travel down from screen 3 to screen 1, that it's not going to cause some confusion with the mouse as I'm doing that. I'll just make sure that screen 2 is right up against 3, and then I'll just leave all those other defaults. So I've got the extended desktop. And one other thing that I will show as an example too is that you could duplicate between 1 and 3, and that means that if you are doing a online presentation, that you could be inking on the Surface Book and also be capturing that on a shared desktop for that online meeting. So in this first scenario, we could bring up Outlook on one of these desktops, and of course Teams, which I'm using now as a team, and we're going to be able to use the OneNote. So let's just drag that down onto our tablet and Surface Book rather, and full screen it. Now one of the things I like to do is take that to a full screen experience too, so I blow that out so that it feels like a full piece of paper. And another thing that I like to add is underneath or on the most frequently used tools, what's that called again, the frequently used access toolbar, I forget, you just turn on your favorite pens so that they are available for you to use, and then you're also able to change the where the ribbon is, so I could just show the tabs but not the commands, and then change where the quick access toolbar is what it's called. So I've changed it so that the quick access toolbar is just below the ribbon, and then I'm able to quickly use that with my pen. I can change colors and I can do my diagrams as well. So that's one way to get the best of both worlds. But what I want to demonstrate too is duplicating the screen so that you're able to ink on your Surface Book and then be able to present that during an online meeting. So back to our display settings, what I'll do is I'm going to duplicate 1 and 3. So we'll do that, duplicate 1 to 3. We'll also make it the main monitor. As we apply that, it is going to change the resolution a little. We'll just keep those changes. And then what we'll be able to do is within our OneNote, of course, we're able to present the screen in an online meeting and also be able to ink on it, so that I'm now able to use it as a whiteboard and be able to show both the concepts on the screen, inking, but also being able to communicate with ink within an online meeting. So best of both worlds there. Now I have been showing you with OneNote on the desktop. It's the desktop version of OneNote, but there is another one that is of course the Universal Windows app, and that's very touch optimized and gives you a great experience with drawing. So if I go over to my draw toolbar, and I've just got it very easy to just use my fingers to get in to touch the tools and not necessarily have to have a big ribbon in the way. I can also full screen it, and I'm able to draw something and move it around if I need to change the concepts or the order of things. And that is also synchronizing up there, being able to display that in an online meeting. One thing I have noticed is that if you are trying to present using a Universal Windows app in a Skype for Business meeting, that you're best to display the full desktop. You can't just choose the application to present when it's a Universal Windows app. So there's a few tips of being able to use OneNote on your Surface Book or Surface Pro. I can do the same thing there, and connecting it up to the multiple monitors with the Surface Dock, getting the best of both worlds with inking, presenting, and making use of your multiple monitors. So hopefully that tip's been useful. Thanks for watching.